With a WWE release and a tragic passing, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Ahead of AEW Dynamite this week, president of the company, Tony Khan, spoke to Variety about these setbacks in AEW, saying, "That was when I started to say, a lot of these setbacks were very preventable, and there were things that I didn't even want to do in the first place. So I just said going forward that I'm only going to do ideas that I feel good about. As I gained experience in wrestling, I started to gain more confidence." Recalling his time in WWE, JTG of Cryme Time touched on getting chewed out by John Cena, telling Rip Rogers, "Shad took it on the ref. I joined in on it. And then Shad took it a little bit too far. He took the ref's belt off and auctioned it to the crowd. We were selling character, but we were off script. We got to the back. We got chastised by, Gaspard got chastised first by, was it Barry Windham at the time? He was our agent. And then after that, we got ridiculed by John Cena in front of the locker room. And then on the ride of the next show to Raw, we got a good tongue lashing from John Laurinaitis. And then the next day, we were fired." On his podcast, former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr. explained what certain words used to set Vince McMahon off. You weren't even allowed to say belt when Vince McMahon was running things. You had to say title or championship. I think those are the only two things you could say. Belt isn't the only word that would set McMahon off. If you said strap, Vince would just go off, man. Oh God, did he just say strap? He would go off on one word, and the rest of the promo would be dope, and he wouldn't even hear it. On his Grilling JR podcast, Jim Ross talked about working in WWE and having to be the one to fire Eddie Guerrero in 2001 due to a DUI charge after being sent to rehab. "It probably was because I saw greatness. I saw one of the greatest pro wrestlers in the world that we're about to lose if we don't get our arms around his problem. But in order for us to get our arms around his problem, he's got to cooperate with us. He's got to allow us to hug him." That's what we kept waiting on. So yeah, that was probably the toughest because I had such an emotional investment in him. Talking about Liv Morgan attacking her on SmackDown, Ronda Rousey said during her live stream on YouTube, "I feel like there is a double standard that everybody else can attack me from behind. They hit me with bats and this other stuff. And like Liv, commendable, inspiring babyface." And I'm like, what the hell? I can't even be a heel when I'm a heel. Talking about the initial Twitter dispute between AEW stars Sammy Guevara and Andrade, which led to suspensions, Booker T said on his Hall of Fame podcast. "This afternoon I was reading that Shawn Spears had made a comment and Sammy Guevara came back on him and said, 'You're just a jobber. You were a favor hire. Be grateful.' Be, the rest." When I hear stuff like that, a favor hire, a jobber, when I hear talk like that, man, that's when we are really beyond professional wrestling. When I hear certain terms that, of course, The Rock, he didn't coin the phrase or anything like that, jabroni, you know what I mean? But that was a term to use towards the guy and still have it be in context, if you know what I'm saying. That jabroni might be a pretty tough guy. When you call a guy a jobber or a favor hire, like you're actually the one who put the word in for it, that's when the lines are definitely not even blurred as far as what we're doing here. It has nothing to do with trying to give that fan that moment that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives from a perspective toward, man, I was there when that happened. This kind of talk, I don't think it does anything for the business. And that I really think that more importantly, the tradition of this business is definitely almost gone. It's almost gone. We're in a totally different place as far as the tradition of pro wrestling, the way I saw it and the way I felt being a part of it. It was real. It was real to me. And when I watch it now, man, it just makes me sad to see what this business truly is in certain aspects. This is not a work as far as I'm concerned. I know a work when I see one. When I see something like this, there again, it just gives a bad look on professional wrestling. It gives a bad look on that company more than anything. Because who hired Shawn Spears and why? I don't know. But for him to be hired just as a favor, a buddy system, a click public or whatnot. I don't know, man. Like I say, some things should be left unsaid. Keep it to yourself. For me, when I see something like this, I just only can imagine. I got a show, Reality of Wrestling. And can you imagine two of my students saying something like this and then it being on social media? What do you think my response is going to be? It's a business. And when we start taking out our business to Twitter, just say for instance that the Young Bucks did kick down CM Punk's door and then it's on social media. How do you think it got on social media? More importantly, why did it get on social media? That's the thing I'm talking about as far as we're definitely losing the perspective of what wrestling really is to the fans. The fans, they don't want to know about who's a jobber and who's not. What's crazy about this is it's being done on Twitter. That's the stupid part right there. If I ever had a problem with somebody, it would not be on Twitter. If I got a beef with you, I'm not going to get mad and type it. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run up on you. I'm gonna run up on you. If we got a problem, we're gonna settle it. And it isn't gonna be on Twitter. Only thing that's gonna be on Twitter is who went to the hospital. That's it. If they got beef, settle it. But don't make our business look bad on Twitter. This is grade school. This is not something men do. We settle it. With reports from PW Insider that Wade Barrett is being called up from NXT to the main roster, likely to continue being a commentator, it seems we may have a reason why, as Raw play-by-play commentator Jimmy Smith took to Twitter to announce his departure. Just wanted to say now that the story is officially out that my time with WWE is officially done. Had a lot of fun and met some great people. Really and truly blown away by the acceptance from WWE fans. You folks make it work every week and your enthusiasm was amazing. Winner of WWE Tough Enough in 2016, Sara Lee has passed away at the age of 30. Just a day ago, Sara had noted that she was starting to work out again and feeling better, as she wrote, celebrating finally being healthy enough to go to the gym 2 days in a row. First ever sinus infection kicked my butt, her mother announced on Facebook. It is with heavy hearts we wanted to share that our Sarah Weston has gone to be with Jesus. We are all in shock and arrangements are not complete. We ask that you respectfully let our family mourn. Of course, we wish her family all the best during this time. There is a GoFundMe where the $20,000 goal has been exceeded. It reads, "We're all shocked and saddened by the sudden death of Tough Enough winner Sara Lee. As her loving husband Corey picks up the pieces and continues to raise their 3 children, the last thing anyone in that position wants to be worried about is money and paying for a funeral and everything else that comes along with it. The wrestling community has always been one to come together in the wake of tragedy, and this is no different. Every penny raised from this will go directly to Corey and the kids. Thank you all in advance. Rest in peace, Sarah. You were one of the good ones." Chris Jericho also took to the microphone after AEW Dynamite went off the air and even addressed the situation with Sammy Guevara and Andrade. Here's the video.
It's a special night here for all of us, for AEW, for all you guys, our 3rd anniversary as a company. We started right here in Washington, D.C. How many of you guys were there that first night? Yeah! I'll never forget it, October 2nd, 2019, the 29th anniversary of my first wrestling match. And here we are 3 years later. I just had my 32nd anniversary of my first wrestling match. And the reason why is because I still love pro wrestling. And the main reason for that is because of AEW. If AEW didn't exist, I don't think I'd still be wrestling, and that's the truth. And the reason why we did so good right out of the gate, why we're still doing so good right now, is because of our fans. We started a revolution in 2019, and it's just continued to grow and grow and grow because we're all in this together. And that might sound like some sappy bullshit, but it's not, it's the truth. I really feel that all of us are in this together. And we've had ups ups, we've had downs, we've had everything in between. But the most important thing is we do this for you and for people watching at home and people watching around the world. So I'm not going to keep any longer. It's been a great night. You guys know we're back here on Friday night, right? Yeah. I want to see all of you there. I'm going to be here. And you know wherever Jericho goes, that's where the party is, right? So once again, thank you guys. We're not going anywhere. We keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I promise you, we'll be back here on Friday. We'll be back here next year for the 4th anniversary, 5th, 6th, 7th, 27th anniversary. You name it. We're going to do it in DC. Thank you guys.
And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.